afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4. It's
Friday!
Susan Simon is off, but we're in good hands. Charlotte is here to take the reins. Good to have you one last time.
One last time.
Well, this week.
That's true.
Never say ever around here. Let's get to the show today. We have a busy one. Here's what's making news on this Friday. Officials say a dangerous compound of chemicals has been found in Lake Monona, likely connected to the effort to put out the fire after a transformer explosion at MG&E back in July.
And a senior administration official says one of the claims in the whistleblower report is true. We'll share an update on the impeachment inquiry.
And some lawmakers are looking to make changes to the state's adoption system that could give parents more support. That's all coming up. But first, let's take a look outside. Kind of a gray day today.
Yeah, at least the rain kind of held off.
Yeah, it went to the south, I think.
And there's a little bit of a drizzle
A little bit of haze,
after 1 o'clock today.
Foggy. Weather words, at least one dry day. I put that on the wrong line. It's Friday.
It is Friday.
Dave Caulfield is outside in the backyard with more rain on the way.
Yeah, the dry day won't be tonight, that's for sure. As we get into Saturday, we'll see a little bit of sunshine and dry weather before more rain comes to visit us for next week. But Doppler track showing that first round of rain and thunderstorms moving off to the east. We're watching another round develop over northeastern Iowa. It has its sights right on southern Wisconsin, and just to the south and west, some spots are already in a severe thunderstorm watch that goes until 11 p.m. I think the greatest chance of severe weather tonight will be right along the state line and spots south, but we still could see a strong storm or two a little bit closer to southern Wisconsin. Madison, oh boy, this is an Eeyore type day outside with some fog, just really kind of gloomy skies out there. Temperatures at the 4 o'clock hour in the mid 60s, some low 60s as well. Warmer closer to La Crosse, though, at 72 degrees. Visibility in between 1 to about 2 miles for much of southern Wisconsin. Better visibility closer to the Wisconsin Dells. The temperatures are staying in the lower to middle 60s with chances for showers and thunderstorms tonight. So bring that rain gear out to the gridiron for those Friday night football festivities. So here is a look at your first alert traffic update, taking a live look downtown. Things aren't looking too bad, but we are starting to see those normal slowdowns on the Beltline for this time of the afternoon. There we go. Maybe an incident across eastern Dane County on 94 there. Doesn't seem to be causing too many delays, but we are seeing those normal backups on the Beltline. 16 minutes eastbound Verona Road to John Nolan with an average speed right around 15 miles per hour on the Beltline, and some other routes in and around Madison a little bit slow right now westbound Middleton to Sauk City. That'll cost you 21 minutes with an average speed around 45 miles per hour. That's your first alert traffic update. We'll talk about a wild swing in temperatures as we enter the month of October next week in your first alert forecast.
All right, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you, Dave.
A local environmental group is drawing attention to chemicals found in Lake Monona following the July transformer fire downtown.
Amy Reed joining us now to show us what this group wants you to know. Amy?
The chemicals that we're talking about here are PFAS. We also talk about these cancer-causing chemicals when referencing firefighting foam from Truax Field that closed well 15 on the east side. That same type of foam was used to put out the massive transformer fire in late July. Environmental organizations like the DNR began looking at ways to contain the PFAS that came from those crucial firefighting efforts. They also began monitoring PFAS levels. The data from monitoring came out earlier this month, but it wasn't really announced. That's until the Midwest Environmental Justice Organization examined it this week, finding what they call concerning levels of these chemicals. Now they want more testing to be done.
We need a lot more investigation to find out the extent of where that went underground. Is it going to reach the wells? Is it going to spread underground, and how so? And is more going to go into the lake?
Excuse me, the levels of PFAS varies depending on where the sample was taken. In some places it was higher than the proposed groundwater standard of 20 parts per trillion. But the main impact this group is focused on is the fish in the lake and the people who eat the fish. They said PFAS levels are higher in fish than in the water that they swim in. They want people who depend on that fish for food, for their children, or for pregnant women to be cautious. As our drinking water is concerned, our groundwater aquifers are very deep in the ground. This organization said it would be decades before the PFAS could get there. The Madison Water Utility said there will be remediation before then. We'll have more on that at 5.
It's alarming. All right, Amy, thank you.
President Trump insisted on Twitter he did nothing wrong in his July call with the leader of Ukraine, asking for Joe Biden and his son Hunter to be investigated. But the House impeachment inquiry moves on, as lawmakers say they will continue to investigate, even while Congress is out on recess. Natalie Brand is at the White House with the latest.
House Republicans bashed Democrats over their impeachment inquiry into President Trump as they departed Capitol Hill for a 2-week recess.
To me, it's morally wrong, legally wrong, and I hope it's politically wrong.
This is all going to blow up in the Democrats' face.
Democrats say the inquiry is above politics.
No one is above the law. The president should be held accountable.
As the congressional inquiry into the complaint picks up steam, a senior administration official confirms White House officials moved the transcript of the president's call with the leader of Ukraine to a computer system reserved for highly classified information.
As I understand, the document was handled appropriately at all times. His calls with the leaders of Mexico and Australia leaked, and then his conversation with the Russian ambassador and someone else from that embassy, I believe, leaked. And so there's great concern.
President Trump took to Twitter to bash the whistleblower, calling the person who may have shared information with that individual a spy. The president also tweeted that House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff should resign. Committee Democrats came to the chairman's defense.
He has a heart and a passion for seeking justice. I think he's ultimately very qualified.
Schiff says his committee will be working through recess and wants to move quickly. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, the White House.
Joseph McGuire, the acting director of National Intelligence, testified Thursday. The whistleblower acted in good faith and followed the law.
Madison police say 3 vehicles were stolen from the same home this morning. Officials say a group of burglars stole a 2019 Honda HR-V, a 2015 Acura RDX, and a 2014 Audi Q5 from a home on Hill Creek Drive. That's in Hawks Landing. Neighborhood police say that burglars found, the Black Hawk neighborhood. Police say the burglars found a garage door opener in one of the unlocked cars and then gained access to the home where they found the car keys. A Madison teenager was detained by officers after a neighbor called 911 saying there was a suspicious group of teenagers in the street. Changes could be coming soon to the adoption system in Wisconsin as state lawmakers consider ways to cut costs for families and balance the rights of everyone involved.
Rose Schmidt shares what they're proposing and how a local family feels about all of this. Rose?
723 children were adopted in Wisconsin last year. Now, over the next 5 years, the chair of the task force is hoping to double that number and fulfill the great need that currently exists. The bipartisan Speaker's Task Force on Adoption will share its recommendations with the public in the coming weeks. After holding public hearings across the state this summer, the lawmakers are considering providing grants to families to decrease the high costs of adoption, making the open adoption process more legally enforceable, and trying to find more adoption support. The goal is to help families like the Lubkes in Milton provide permanent homes for children who need it most.
We often celebrate adoption because you should. It's wonderful, you're bringing families together, but I think people forget that any adoption, whether it's a voluntary adoption or through foster care or international, any of that stems from an initial loss.
Katie and Neil Lubke have 4 biological sons, 1 adopted daughter, and have fostered about 15 children over the last 6 years. We'll share their full story tonight on News 3 Now at 6. And the task force is also examining ways to terminate parental rights in a timely manner and increasing awareness and resources pertaining to adoption. The lawmakers on this committee are in the process of drafting the bills right now. They plan to introduce them ahead of the fall legislative session.
All right, Rose Schmidt, thank you.
For the first time, we are hearing from the former Dallas police officer who fatally shot an unarmed man in his own apartment. Amber Geiger took the stand and relived September 6, 2018, the day she fatally shot 26-year-old Botham Jean in his 4th-floor apartment in Dallas. Prosecutors say the former Dallas police officer missed several opportunities to avoid the deadly confrontation because she was preoccupied, talking and texting with her partner with whom she was having an extramarital affair. Geiger's lawyer claims she was acting in self-defense, mistaking Jean for a burglar.
I was scared this person's apartment was going to hurt me, and I'm so sorry.
Police body camera video showed officers took turns applying chest compression as Gene laid on his back, bleeding from a fatal gunshot wound. Geiger faces life in prison if convicted.
Well, there's more to come at 4. What would you pay to have a veterinarian come to your home to treat your furry friend?
For millennials, at least, they'll pay just about anything for them. Pets come before almost anything. More on that when Live at 4 continues.
People who make a deliberate choice to stay positive, even in the face of life's most challenging trials, are likely to be healthier. That's according to a new study.
Researchers say they have fewer heart complications and are less likely to die prematurely compared with people who are pessimistic. A new study of nearly 250,000 people finds self-described optimists are at a lower risk of experiencing heart problems and are less likely to die compared with people who are pessimistic. Study author Dr. Alan Rosansky says the level of optimism matters too. The more you have, the healthier you are.
Optimists are better at problem solving. They're better at emotionally soothing themselves. They tend to be more proactive in anticipating problems. Optimists also seem to be people who believe they can handle what's coming their way.
Rosansky says pessimists can be more positive by reframing negative thoughts. He also recommends practicing gratitude. A new study finds pet-loving millennials are willing to pay for good care and convenience when it comes to the health of their four-legged roommates.
Ashley Hesseltine has been a pet parent to Dewey for 11 years, and when it comes to her dog, she spares no expense. When he began showing signs of joint stiffness, she became concerned and turned to Fuzzy Pet Health, a subscription-based pet health care company. Using their app, Hesseltine was able to get veterinarian Lisa Lippman to see Dewey at home.
You just don't have to leave the house, and the dog is more comfortable too. I mean, I think most dogs walk into a vet office and they know what they're there for, and they start having anxiety.
According to the American Pet Products Association, U.S. pet owners are expected to spend a record $75 billion on veterinary care this year alone, largely driven by millennials making pets a priority. Similar startups include InstaVet, Vetted, and QuickVet have launched apps to meet the demand of millennial dog and cat owners. Right now, in-home visits from Fuzzy are only available in New York and San Francisco. Stocks fell on Wall Street amid reports the White House may limit Chinese companies' access to U.S. exchanges. The Dow Industrials lost 70 points, closed at 26,820. The NASDAQ Composite Index fell 91, and the S&P 500 was off 15. If we talked about the song September by Earth, Wind & Fire, Neutron Dance by the Pointer Sisters, or even the theme song from Friends, you might not think Madison has any connection to them.
But the woman behind those songs, among so many others, Allie Willis, actually graduated from UW-Madison and joins us from campus where she just finished talking to students about her career. Welcome to Live at 4, Allie.
Hey, how are you?
So tell us how all this came along. You were a journalism grad. How did you get to writing all these songs?
The journalism training, although I thought I was going to go into advertising, but it was so important with songwriting because it really taught you to get to the point, really slam it home, set it up properly, and that's what it takes to write a great song. So I felt like that really helped me, and then I just got an unbelievable break because out of the blue, well, Bonnie Raitt heard a song of mine, cut it. Patti LaBelle was the first artist to regularly cut my songs. But Earth, Wind & Fire, that happened out of the blue. I was a starving artist. I'm on food stamps. And I got a call from Maurice White asking me if I wanted to write the entire next Earth, Wind & Fire album, and that they needed one single to come out first, and that single was September. So it was just the break of a lifetime. And then once you write something like that, everyone in the world wants to write with you, so it just keeps rolling, basically.
So you don't seem to be pigeonholed into one specific genre. You are all over the place. So how do you create music like that?
First of all, I do a lot of other stuff besides music. I do very deep into technology. I do art. I build sets. I direct, short films. So for me, it kind of feeds from all over the place. And because I don't read, notate, I don't know how to, or play music, I don't know how to play it. I also write, I write both music and lyrics. It just, wherever it comes from. I don't feel like I have the restraints that a lot of formally trained musicians have. So you just kind of have to work on having confidence in yourself and not be hung up that you don't really know how to do it like other people do it. And then eventually you realize that you're very unique because of that. So, but you have to work on yourself as much as you need to work on anything you're creating.
Unique indeed. I mean, with no music background, no music training, and this list of songs is incredible. It just comes out of you.
Thank you.
Did you?
And it goes on. I'm probably doing more writing. I'm doing more writing today than I have in years.
All right, Allie, thank you it's been a pleasure talking to you. Welcome back to Madison. Continued success to you. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And
bye.
Bye. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Well, take a look at this. 15 of the world's best Lego designers have submitted works to be displayed at the Lego House in Denmark. Among the models are a coral reef, a head which opens up to reveal a brain, a typewriter, a haunted house, and selected animals. Lego was founded in 1932, and this exhibit is set to run for a year. That is remarkable.
That is cool.
It's remarkable.
That is some really cool stuff. I've never created anything like that with Legos.
I just get sore feet from stepping on it. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
A band?
Brilliant.
It is spectacular.
Brilliant.
Let's go to Denmark.
This is your future, Dave.
Oh,
welcome
yay.
to it.
With the little one at
Dodging
home?
Legos on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
All right, rain coming.
Yeah,
tonight is not
very
great
fun.
tonight.
Yeah, we do have some showers and thunderstorms on the way from spots to the west, but we will have a pretty nice fall day on the way for Saturday. We'll talk about more heavy rain to start next week in your first alert forecast in just a few Legos. Good afternoon. I hope you had a really nice Friday, kind of a gloomy Friday overall with some drizzle, some fog out there across southern Wisconsin. And we did have a round of rain move through earlier, mostly in spots south. We're watching a secondary round of showers and thunderstorms form across northeastern Iowa. This is going to move to the west as we head into the evening hours and could impact Friday night football tonight with some showers and thunderstorms. We do have severe thunderstorm and tornado watches to the south. So I think that's really where that severe weather threat is located tonight. However, still a strong storm or two not out of the question for spots across southwestern and south central Wisconsin. So marginal risk of severe weather for most of us, and then closer to the state line that goes up to a slight risk. So especially spots like Beloit into Monroe, Janesville, need to watch out for a stronger thunderstorm tonight. And we do have that severe thunderstorm watch in spots in Iowa and northwestern Illinois. An alert day in the forecast for southern Wisconsin because of the threat of some strong thunderstorms and maybe even some heavy rain, especially close to the state line south of Madison, but we still need to be ready for that. So our rain chances are pretty much maximized this evening, and then quickly into the overnight hours, we'll see those shower chances dwindle. Into tomorrow, I think we should be dry, a classic fall day on the way with temperatures in the low 60s, some decreasing clouds, some sunshine by the afternoon, so that'll be nice for the Badger game tomorrow. And then our rain chances go back up as we enter Sunday, and then as we end the month of September, it will definitely be on a showery note. Alert days in the forecast for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Monday, we could see some severe storms along with the heavy rainfall. Tuesday and Wednesday, some showers and thunderstorms likely. Another 1 to 2 inches of rain possible across southern Wisconsin on both of those days. So we'll have to watch out for that heavy rain threat. After that, fall looks to settle in, at least for the time being, across southern Wisconsin. Madison on the Edgewater Skycam. There's the gloom, not necessarily the doom just yet, but we could see some showers and thunderstorms later on tonight. Today's high of 65. Actually not too far off the normal for this time of year, but still a little bit below average. Our low started off in the 60s with those clouds around. Temperatures right now are in the lower to middle 60s. Visibility, an issue for some of us, especially across southwestern Wisconsin, but as those thunderstorms come in over the next few hours, not really expecting any major impacts due to fog. However, for Prep Mania tonight, this is pretty much personal foul weather, folks, with temperatures in the lower 60s for kickoff and by halftime, with some showers and thunderstorms possible. So bring the rain gear to the gridiron tonight. For tomorrow, a completely different story. It's feeling like fall. Classic football weather for the Badger game against Northwestern. Temperatures starting off in the upper 50s by kickoff, and by the 5th quarter, highs will be in the lower to middle 60s with some sunshine peeking out, hopefully on a Badger win at Camp Randall. High temperatures, they're all over the place as we end the month of September and begin October. So we go from 81 on Monday with a slight chance of showers and storms to the mid to upper 50s by Friday. That is a week for you, with temperatures really swinging about 20 to 30 degrees over the course of 4 to 5 days. Tonight, temperatures dipping into the low 50s, cooler with some showers and thunderstorms ending as we get into the overnight hours. But this evening, we'll need to have that umbrella ready to go. Tomorrow, variably cloudy, dry during the day with temperatures reaching the lower to middle 60s. And then we do get showers and thunderstorms to develop once again during the overnight hours. So on Future Track, we noticed some heavy rain, maybe even a strong storm or two possible this evening. But look at this, folks. By about midnight, those showers and storms already out of southern Wisconsin. Tomorrow, we should be dry with variably cloudy skies, so a mixture of sun and clouds. By the afternoon, highs in the mid-60s, so definitely feeling like fall. And then Sunday, we'll start off in the 50s with showers and thunderstorms developing during the early morning hours. And we could see some more spotty showers by the end of Sunday as well. So here is our Future Track precipitation. Anywhere from about a ½ an inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain for southern Wisconsin. By the time we get to Sunday afternoon, it looks like once again the best chance for that heavy rain is just south of the Illinois state line, but we'll watch for some heavy downpours a little bit farther to the north. Alert days in that forecast to end the month of September on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I talked about it a little bit. Temperatures go from the low 80s on Monday into the 50s by Thursday. So definitely feeling more seasonal as we get into the start of next weekend, and a few showers and thunderstorms possible by next Saturday. But overall looking a little bit drier by the second half of the 10-day forecast. And also definitely more like fall with those highs in the 50s.
Got to get through all that rain.
Yep.
I don't mind the 50s. I don't want 80. I don't want 80 in October.
Yeah, I don't want that either.
You?
Well, it's in late September.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, hopefully we dodge that heavy rain.
All right, and the Badger game tomorrow should be fine.
Yeah, it should be really nice.
Great. All right, Dave, thank you.
Yep.
Dana will keep us up to date on the weekend weather on News 3 this morning.
And then stay tuned for CBS Sunday Morning. Jane Pauley is with us. Jane, I understand you spent some time with Hillary and Chelsea Clinton this week. Good afternoon to you.
Hey, Mark, how you doing? Yes, she has played multiple roles in our nation's recent history. First Lady, Senator, Secretary of State, and history's first woman nominated by a major party for president. But Sunday morning, Hillary Clinton in the role of mom, as she and daughter Chelsea have teamed up to write the Book of Gutsy Women. And it seems Hillary literally wrote her part. And here's what I mean.
I write longhand. So, because I didn't think people would believe it, I actually brought a sample of this horrible writing that I scribble. And then I use an app and I send it to her, and she laughs at me. So this is what I would get. She laughs at me endlessly. Although it's not so illegible, I could still read it.
Can see my kids rolling their eyes at Mom, too. Of course, I will get Secretary Clinton's take on the impeachment inquiry underway just this week in Congress.
Yeah, busy week indeed. Sounds great. What else is on the show on Sunday?
I'm glad you asked. Olivia Newton-John. She was already a star when she made the movie Grease with John Travolta 40 years ago. But lately she's been battling cancer, and Gayle King checks in to see how she's doing. And here's a clip.
When you have a diagnosis like this, how do you not let it consume you and worry you?
Okay, denial is really good. It's really healthy. But it was consuming my day. And after a time I went, you know what? I don't know what my time is, but I need to enjoy my life, so I'm going to eat a cookie if I want it. And if I want to have a little bit of wine, I'm going to do that, because the joy of life and everyday living has to be a part of that healing process as well.
As you can see, she is still absolutely delightful. So all that and a whole lot more on Sunday morning.
We will
see
you at 8 o'clock Sunday morning. Jane, have a great weekend. Thank you.
You too.
Two good stories.
Very good.
All right, when we come back, it might be a good weekend to take the kids to a movie.
And just in time, Abominable hits the big screen. We'll have a preview when Live at 4 continues.
Here is a live look at downtown Madison on a very dreary Friday afternoon. Tomorrow's looking a little better, so there's some light. A teenage girl goes on an adventure of a lifetime with a magical Yeti in Abominable.
Rick DiMagella has a preview.
I just want to escape. Dad always wanted me to travel the world. Someday.
A teenage girl goes on a big adventure in Abominable.
He is a curious, stubborn, just kind of self-proclaimed loner who is dealing with the loss of her father and kind of trying to find her way as a young woman.
Chloe Bennett and Tenzing Norgay Trainer share real-life connections with the film.
I lived with my grandma in Shanghai when I was 15, 16, so we have that in common.
My grandfather, Tenzing Norgay, he was the first person to reach the top of Mount Everest in 1953.
Is that your home? No way.
The movie marks the three main voice actors' first major animated roles.
It's way harder than people think it was. I was actually just talking with Sarah Paulson about this at the premiere in TIFF. She was like, this was hard.
You have to imagine it all, sort of in your mind, what your character is thinking or doing in the moment, and portray it all through your voice, all the emotion, everything.
Yeah, it definitely was different, but it was a blast, honestly. Yeah. And it is kind of hard. A lot of people say it's so easy just to go in and lay down your lines, but it's hard.
Yeah.
Like trying to do all these lines without looking at the person that you're saying it to. My babies! No. You think this is funny? Do you even know how much I paid for these?
He escaped. I want my Yeti back!
In Hollywood, I'm Rick DiMagella.
That's one for the kids.
It is.
And Will Loper will tell us what he thinks about it on Monday. Still to come at 4 today, we head backstage with Michael Bruno.
He's checking out the comedy Run for Your Wife, now on stage at the Palace Theater in the Dells. Stay with us.
Good afternoon. Here's your Friday First Alert traffic update, taking a live look downtown at East Washington at 2nd Street. Noticing that normal buildup as we take a look towards the Capitol at the traffic light there. Average speeds on the Beltline anywhere from about 15 to 25 miles per hour, especially during the midsection there. And we are noticing delays on both the westbound and eastbound side. Stoughton Road not looking too bad with speeds of about 40 miles per hour. We're noticing some delays southbound on Verona Road with speeds right around 30 miles per hour. So here are your drive times. 6 minutes from John Nolan to the interstate, average speed of around 40 miles per hour. And to get through the entire Beltline eastbound, it'll cost you about a half an hour with an average speed of around 30 miles per hour. And some other routes in and around Madison, the other way westbound, that'll cost you 27 minutes with an average speed around 35 miles per hour. And Sun Prairie to downtown on 151, that's 7 minutes with average speeds right around 20 to 25 miles per hour. That is your First Alert traffic update.
All right, Dave, thank you. There's some news just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center. Several people have called, reporting seeing officers going into the Sun Prairie High School. Sun Prairie police officers say there's nothing to be concerned about. It's just an investigation after an accident.
A provocative political painting by street artist Banksy is expected to break auction records for the artist when it goes under the hammer on October 3rd. Devolved Parliament is Banksy's dystopian view of the House of Commons, overrun by parliamentary primates. At 13 feet, it's thought to be the largest known canvas work by the anonymous street artist. Banksy first unveiled the work a decade ago as part of a Bristol Museum exhibit. The work is expected to fetch between $2 to $310 million.
No, three.
Right?
No,
310, what? Tell me.
310 million.
Oh, geez. Okay, whatever. What is this? This would eclipse the current auction record for the artist, $1.87. Whatever. Mark, why do you type these things? And then you give these to me at the last minute.
No point did my fingers ever connect to the keyboard.
No practice, nothing.
That's quite a,
like,
that's
here,
quite a range.
This.
2 million to 310 million. All right, we'll play Run for Your... I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
It's Friday. The play Run for Your Wife is one of those classic British farce comedies. It was originally staged in 1983. Good night, everyone. 1983 in London and opened on Broadway in 1989. Critics were not amused.
Oh, no, they weren't. Neither was Charlotte. The play has since been reworked, and the new version is now on stage at the Palace Theatre in the Dells. Our beloved Michael Bruno goes backstage to check it all out.
For God's sakes, all hands! Hello, Sergeant. Good morning again, Mr. Smith.
Run for Your Wife is based in London, and it's about a man named John Smith who got married to a woman in Wimbledon, but then shortly after fell in love with a woman in Streatham and decided to marry her too. I play Mrs. Mary Smith. I'm the Wimbledon wife. I play Barbara Smith, so I'm his second wife.
And he's a London taxi driver in the suburbs. And he gets involved in a mugging incident one day with trying to save an old lady. So he's trying to be nice, save an old lady from a couple of muggers.
He goes to the hospital after being knocked out.
Hence this lovely head wrap I have, this gauze bandage.
And when he wakes up, the police want all of his information, but unfortunately he has 2 addresses, and it's very illegal to have 2 wives.
Like any good farce, everything he starts pulling all, because he's just a natural liar.
And poor John is just such a good guy that he decides that it's okay for him to have 2 wives as long as they don't find out. And the whole rest of the show is just all sorts of hijinks of him trying to keep this from everyone.
Look, I intend to make some sense of this, Mr. Smith.
That's me.
And him. Belt up.
There are 2 of them.
I can see that.
And now this, farce is really one of the hardest things to do. I think is one of the hardest things to do on stage. It's always people going in and outdoors and mistaken identities.
Well, you have to stay really sharp. You have to make sure that you are staying alert and that you're paying attention the entire time. You just have to keep in it. You have to make sure you're paying attention to the people around you with your movements, with your lines, with your reactions. Half of acting is reacting, and you just have to be on it. So, yeah, it's very difficult. Farce is very difficult. It's a lot of physical comedy mixed in with the spoken comedy. So, yeah, you just have to make sure that you're really paying attention.
I love the chaos of this show. I absolutely adore every moment of essentially what you have to imagine, and our director described it this way, that it's like a ball of yarn, and the ball of yarn is coming undone. And it's also fun to play a character and think what actually is the breaking point for this human being, and what slowly makes it so that a woman who's just expecting to have a romantic date day with her husband, all of a sudden, by the end, literally can't stand up.
Why don't you say something?
Yes, please say something!
I'm trying to think of something.
I bet the pair of you have been meeting on that farm for ages now. Oh, go ahead, eat your heart out.
I want to confess!
You confessed already, shut up!
A proper confession!
He'll decide what's proper.
John, we've had it!
Everybody knows that!
Sort of like this show today.
She saw the show. She saw
Cue Bruno.
Michael is here now. These are hard to pull off, these farces.
They are very difficult to pull up, but these actors are all pros, and they all love what they're doing, and everything is very fast, it's precise, it's funny as all get out. And it's one of those wonderful farces where people are coming and going, coming inside doors and slamming doors and mistaken identities, and people just being as goofy as possible. So you don't have time to really think about is going on here? And they do a great job there. It's really, really fun.
And this production's been reworked from the original that got panned on Broadway.
Yes, it has been completely redone, but it's still the base of the same plot. They just tightened it up a lot, and they've made a lot more funny references with this cast, and they're really great.
From a director-producer standpoint, you like?
I really did like it. I went in thinking, well, I don't know. It could be either hit or miss, because sometimes they do these, British accents, and sometimes they're not on. They're all spot on with this, and really, really fun. And the audience, matinee at 2 o'clock, it was filled, and they loved it. They were laughing uproariously.
All right.
Yeah.
Dinner included? Oh no, you can get dinner as well.
You can get dinner, or you can get tickets without dinner too.
Run for Your Wife, the Palace Theater in the Dells. It's running now through October 6th. Next week.
Next week it's Seminar, Madison Theater Guild at the Bartell Theatre.
The theater.
Something a little different.
Something a little different.
All right, Bruno, have a great weekend.
Thank you.
You too.
We'll have a final check of your forecast coming up.
Playback.
Friday night rain.
Yeah.
Not lights.
Well, there may be some lights, there may be some lightning over the next couple of hours. So it works, but we will have the showers and thunderstorms continuing to move through southern Wisconsin this evening. So pack that rain gear. If you are heading out to Friday night football festivities, temperatures are going to stay in the lower to middle 60s with these thunderstorms coming through, and then we'll dip into the 50s for tonight. Cooler with the showers and thunderstorms ending right around midnight to 1 a.m., so we should be dry for tomorrow. The Badger game is looking very nice. Maybe not too much in the way of sunshine, just your classic fall day for tomorrow with highs in the lower to middle 60s. Depends on how much sunshine we get, but it will feel a lot nicer, and it will be dry for the day on Saturday before more rain and storm chances visit us to start next week.
Football weather.
Exactly.
All right, Dave.
Get that pigskin.
Thank you. All right, Monday on Live at 4, we'll meet our Pet of the Week from the Dane County Humane Society.
And this month's top-notch teacher is a first-grade teacher in Prairie du Sac. She says kindness is the most important subject of all. If you don't have any weekend plans, Lola and Louie suggest a road trip to Milwaukee.
That's because the Milwaukee County Zoo has a brand new resident. We meet Kiki in this week's edition of the Newshounds Now Update.
It's Newshounds Now Update with Lola and Louie.
This week on the Newshounds Now Update, a tearful reunion.
Big news from the Denver Zoo.
And no lying, this cub is cute.
But first, meet Kiki. She is the newest resident of the Milwaukee County Zoo. It's the second cub for mother, Dr. Erin Curry, and father, Dash. Kiki was born in June and is meeting the public for the first time. In the wild, red pandas are found in the mountains of Nepal, northern Myanmar, and central China. They are considered to be in danger due to deforestation, poaching, and trapping. Less than 2,500 live in the wild, so Kiki is a welcomed addition to the red panda world.
Things are hopping at the Denver Zoo. First, a large crowd gathered to see the zoo's new baby lion for the first time. The lion cub is about 8 weeks old and has already acclimated well to his new home. His playful personality is catching the hearts of everyone. As cute as he is, the lion cub is part of the zoo's species survival plan to increase populations of animals.
Also in Denver, baby on board. Congratulations are in order. The zoo's 11-year-old rhino named Tensing is pregnant. Tensing is a greater one-horned rhino, and the baby is due in the spring. And here's a fun rhino fact. They have one of the longest gestation periods of all animals. They can be pregnant for up to 480 days, which means this little rhino was conceived back in November of last year.
Speaking of babies, a chick from an endangered species of flamingo has been born in a bird sanctuary in Scotland, thousands of miles from its native home in Chile. The chick is the latest success for conservationists hoping to save the species from extinction. The chick weighed just 50 grams when it was hatched, but in just 10 days has